Welcome back to GardenBound. Today we're discussing the benefits of crop rotation. Crop rotation is a time-honored agricultural practice that involves growing different types of crops in the same area across a sequence of seasons. This method helps prevent the depletion of specific soil nutrients that occurs when the same crop is planted repeatedly. By alternating crops, each with different nutrient requirements and pest resistances, gardeners can maintain healthier soil, manage pest and disease pressures, and improve overall crop yields. As we delve into this video, we will explore the principles and methods of crop rotation. We'll discuss how to plan effective crop rotation schedules, choose compatible crops, and implement these strategies in your garden to achieve maximum benefits. Whether you are a seasoned gardener or a beginner, understanding and applying crop rotation can transform your gardening experience and lead to a more productive and sustainable garden. Crop rotation is a cornerstone of sustainable agriculture and gardening, involving the sequential planting of different crop families in the same area over time. This practice is crucial for maintaining soil health, managing pests and diseases, and optimizing nutrient use. To fully grasp a crop rotation, it's important to understand the concept of crop families and their specific roles in nutrient uptake and soil fertility. Plants are grouped into families based on their botanical characteristics and similar growth patterns. Rotating crops within these families is essential because plants from the same family often share similar nutrient needs and susceptibility to the same pests and diseases. Continuously planting crops from the same family in the same soil can lead to nutrient depletion and an increase in specific pests and pathogens that target those plants. By rotating crops, gardeners can disrupt these cycles, preventing the buildup of pests and reducing disease pressure. Different crops have varying nutrient requirements and uptake patterns. For example, some plants like corn are heavy feeders and deplete the soil of nitrogen, while others like beans are nitrogen fixers that add this essential nutrient back into the soil. When the same crop is planted repeatedly in one area, the soil can become exhausted of specific nutrients, leading to poorer plant health and reduced yields. Crop rotation helps to maintain soil fertility by balancing nutrient uptake and replenishment. By rotating different types of crops, gardeners can ensure that nutrients are used more efficiently and that the soil remains fertile over time. There are three main crop families that are commonly considered in crop rotation planning: Brassicas, Legumes, and Solanaceae. Brassicas. This family includes vegetables like cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and kale. Brassicas are known for their high nutrient demand, particularly for nitrogen. They are also susceptible to pests like cabbage worms and diseases such as clubroot, which can be mitigated through proper crop rotation. Legumes. Members of the legume family, such as beans, peas, and lentils, have a unique ability to fix atmospheric nitrogen into the soil through their symbiotic relationship with root-nodulating bacteria. This makes them excellent for restoring soil fertility and reducing the need for synthetic fertilizers. Rotating legumes with other crops can significantly improve soil nitrogen levels, benefiting subsequent crops. Solanaceae. This family includes popular crops like tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, and eggplants. These plants are often heavy feeders and can deplete the soil of nutrients, particularly phosphorus and potassium. They are also prone to specific pests and diseases like late blight and nematodes, which can persist in the soil. Rotating Solanaceae crops with non-related families helps to reduce the risk of these problems. Crop rotation is a fundamental practice in sustainable gardening and agriculture, aimed at maintaining soil health, enhancing crop productivity, and managing pests and diseases. Understanding and implementing the principles of crop rotation can lead to a more resilient and productive garden. One of the core principles of crop rotation is diversification. This involves planting a variety of crops in succession, rather than growing the same crop repeatedly in the same soil. Diversifying crops helps to balance the demand on soil nutrients, as different plants have varying nutrient requirements and uptake patterns. For instance, rotating heavy feeders like corn with nitrogen-fixing legumes can prevent nutrient depletion and reduce the need for synthetic fertilizers. Diversification also disrupts the habitat of pests and pathogens that thrive on specific crops, reducing their ability to build up and cause significant damage over time. Crop rotation plays a crucial role in soil improvement. By alternating crops with different root structures and nutrient needs, the soil's physical structure and fertility are enhanced. Deep-rooted plants, such as carrots or potatoes, can break up compacted soil layers, improving aeration and water infiltration. Meanwhile, shallow-rooted crops can benefit from the nutrients brought up by deep-rooted predecessors. Additionally, certain crops, like legumes, can fix atmospheric nitrogen into the soil, enriching it for subsequent crops. This natural process helps maintain a balanced nutrient profile in the soil, fostering healthier and more robust plant growth. Effective pest and disease management is another key benefit of crop rotation. Many pests and diseases are host-specific and thrive when the same crop is grown continuously in one area. Rotating crops disrupts these cycles, as pests and pathogens have a reduced chance to establish themselves when their preferred hosts are not consistently present. For example, rotating brassicas with non-brassica crops can help manage pests like cabbage worms and diseases such as club root. This approach reduces the need for chemical interventions and promotes a healthier growing environment. Planning is essential to successful crop rotation. Gardeners typically use rotation cycles such as 3-year or 4-year plans to ensure a diverse and effective crop sequence. A 3-year rotation might involve planting a heavy feeder in the first year, a nitrogen-fixing crop in the second year, and a deep-rooted crop in the third year. A 4-year plan might include additional diversity by incorporating a cover crop or a crop with different nutrient needs. These plan cycles help maintain soil health and prevent the buildup of pests and diseases. When planning a crop rotation scheme, several factors should be considered. Crop compatibility is crucial. Crops should be chosen based on their ability to complement each other in terms of nutrient use and pest resistance. Understanding the nutrient needs of each crop and how they interact with the soil is vital for maintaining soil fertility. For instance, following a nitrogen-fixing crop with a nitrogen-demanding crop can optimize nutrient availability. Additionally, monitoring soil health and making adjustments based on soil tests or observed plant performance can ensure the effectiveness of the rotation plan. By adhering to these principles, gardeners can create a dynamic and sustainable growing system that enhances soil health, supports robust plant growth, and minimizes pest and disease problems. Crop rotation not only benefits individual gardens, but also contributes to broader ecological sustainability. Implementing crop rotation in your garden requires careful planning and a systematic approach to ensure its benefits are fully realized. Here are some practical tips and considerations for successfully incorporating crop rotation into your gardening practices. Start by mapping out your garden beds to visualize the layout and plan where each crop will go. Use a garden journal or digital tools to create a detailed map, noting the current crops and where you intend to plant different crops in future seasons. This mapping helps keep track of crop locations and ensures that you rotate crops effectively from year to year. It's crucial to avoid planting the same crop or crops from the same family in the same spot consecutively, as this can lead to nutrient depletion and increased pest and disease problems. Maintaining detailed records of past crops is essential for effective crop rotation. Document the types of crops grown, their locations, and any issues encountered, such as pest infestations or disease outbreaks. These records will provide valuable insights into the performance of different crops and help you make informed decisions about future rotations. They also assist in identifying patterns and adjusting your rotation plan to address specific garden challenges. Effective crop rotation requires forward planning. Consider the entire growing season and plan your rotations several years in advance if possible. This long-term view allows you to organize your crop sequences strategically, taking into account the nutrient needs of each crop and the best time to plant them. For instance, follow nitrogen-fixing legumes with nitrogen-demanding crops like corn to maximize nutrient availability. Planning ahead also helps to incorporate cover crops or green manures, which can improve soil health and prepare the garden for the next season's crops. Different rotation schemes. There are various crop rotation schemes to choose from, depending on the size of your garden and your gardening goals. Simple rotation. This involves rotating crops between 2 or 3 main categories, such as root crops, leafy greens, and fruiting vegetables. It's easy to manage and is ideal for small gardens or beginner gardeners. Complex rotation. More advanced gardeners might use a 4 or 5 year rotation cycle that includes a broader range of crops and more specific categories, such as legumes, Brassicas, and Solanaceae. This approach helps to further diversify nutrient use and pest management. Modified rotation. This flexible approach allows for adjustments based on specific garden needs or unexpected challenges. It combines elements of simple and complex rotations, and may include alternating heavy feeders with light feeders and cover crops to maintain soil health. Sequencing. Sequencing crops within a rotation involves considering several factors to optimize growth and health. Growth habits. Group crops with similar growth habits together to avoid shading issues and to maximize space. For example, follow low-growing crops like lettuce with taller crops like beans. Nutrient needs. Rotate crops based on their nutrient demands. Heavy feeders, such as tomatoes, should be followed by light feeders, like carrots, or soil-enriching crops, like beans, to balance nutrient usage. Pest and disease susceptibility. Plan rotations to disrupt pest and disease cycles. Avoid planting crops that are susceptible to the same pests or diseases in consecutive years. For instance, avoid planting potatoes and tomatoes in the same bed year after year, as they are both susceptible to similar blights. By mapping out garden beds, keeping detailed records, planning ahead, and carefully sequencing crops, gardeners can effectively implement crop rotation. This practice not only enhances soil fertility and reduces pest and disease pressures, but also leads to more robust and productive gardens. Thank you for watching and engaging with our video on crop rotation. We hope you found the information helpful and inspiring. Remember, every garden is unique, so don't hesitate to experiment and find what works best for you. Happy gardening, and we look forward to seeing you implement these techniques in your own garden. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share your own crop rotation experiences and tips in the comments below. Until next time, keep growing and exploring new ways to cultivate a thriving garden.